going on, y'all boys? Welcome back to another Confluence breakdown video, and today our topic is going to be SMTs, okay? So an SMT is basically an imbalance between your two markets that basically are supposed to be in sync, right? So we have NQ and ES. If you day trade futures, you know that those two charts are supposed to be in sync, or they run off of kind of run off of each other, okay? So you can look at one and kind of see where the other one's going to go. An SMT is when there's an imbalance in the highs or the lows of either ES or NQ. So I've went ahead and drawn up some pictures for us to be able to see what this kind of looks like. So for a bearish SMT, right? Say NQ creates a high and then a higher high, but ES creates a high and then a lower high. This gives us an SMT between the two highs, right here and right here. And since they're on top, we can assume this is the leading index. And usually you're going to want to trade on the leading index. So you're going to want to take your short on ES because NQ could possibly go down as well, but it could also chop and create more SMTs, okay? The same goes for bullish, and on the bottom we have a lower low and then a lower low, okay? And then we have a lower low and then a higher low. This right here would be our leading SMT because it's showing a shift in structure, and then we're going to want to take the long up here to secure the cash money, okay? So that is just basic of what an SMT is. It's an imbalance in your highs or your lows in order to see where the market is going to be pushing on, whether that be ES or NQ. Alright, I've went ahead and drawn another way you can kind of see it in kind of a more detailed space. So as you can see, our two charts are basically identical with our previous day lows, our London session lows, London session highs, and our SMT at the highs, okay? But as we can see on our SMTs, we have this one swept the highs, and this one did not. So when we see this, we're going to have to wait. Usually on our liquidity sweeps video, we said we're going to look for a push back after this, after the liquidity gets swept, and we're going to want to look for shorts. Correct. However, since there's an SMT, you want to wait for this, for ES, to catch up, pull up to this London session high, and then pull down. Then you have more confirmation that you have sell side liquidity down here to then take out these lows and bank, okay? So the SMT is a great confluence to see where market's going. However, it's not an automatic confluence where as soon as you see any SMT, you should be taking the trade. It's a matter of connecting the SMT, like all confluences, to a whole bunch of other confluences, whether that be 2 or 3 other confluences. So then you can understand and have a higher probability of understanding where the market's going to go. Because once again, this is all probability. That's all trading is. And if you can boost the probability to be in your favor, then there's no way you can be unprofitable. You get what I'm saying? Then you're inevitably going to be profitable. But I'm about to show you guys how you can identify which SMTs are SMTs and which aren't. So a lot of places where people can see an SMT and be completely wrong is when they see something like this, okay? And this is where a lot of traders get confused on an SMT, wonder why their trade never pulled back, wonder why they never got an entry to their bias that they thought was going to happen, and this is why, okay? So they'll be looking at both charts, okay? They're looking at both charts. They see on ES, we have not swept the liquidity at the London session high, okay? But they look on NQ and they see, well, we're pushing way past that high, okay? And ES all of a sudden starts pushing way back down, all the way back down to these lows. Now, this is no longer an SMT. This is just the charts being completely out of sync. when the charts are completely out of sync, there is no more looking at both charts to be able to see how this is going to correlate or where the SMT is. This being like this is not an SMT with this because there was never a reason for these to pull back. This was way too bullish and this was way too bearish. So you won't be able to understand or see completely that this is a SMT or a failed SMT until you wait for this one to pull back and give you that confirmation that this is an SMT to this one, or you see this pull up and then you see, okay, well that SMT was bullshit because there's no way. So you want to be able to see that pullback to be able to push back down. But if there's none of pullback on one chart, but there's a bunch of pullback on another chart, the SMT is gone. There is no more SMT, and that's where a lot of traders mix up the SMT with their strategy, is because they're just looking for an SMT to enter, and there's a lot of traders who don't trade or take a trade unless they see an SMT. However, a lot of people mix up what it even is to begin with. So an SMT is the imbalance in the charts where it's either at the highs or the lows. But it's not an imbalance in the charts if the charts just already have zero correlation. If the one's bearish and one's bullish, there's zero correlation in those charts. If they're both bearish, but one just takes out a high and the other doesn't, then that's an SMT. You get what I'm saying? Or if they're both either or, okay? So you understand where I'm coming from. So that's the matter of what an SMT is and how you can use them to your advantage in trading, and quite honestly, how I do. But that is going to wrap up the video, y'all. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to comment down below what other things you need me to explain, whether that be order blocks, breaker blocks, things like that, or whether it be the simple things like candlesticks, wicks, shit like that. So I can really kind of explain it all, at least to my best ability, or at least how I use them. And if I don't use them, sorry, I can't explain them to you because I have no clue. But other than that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We are on our way to being great, bro. We're grinding away, pushing out content everywhere, being profitable on the charts, sticking to our rules, grinding in the gym, trying to run a marathon or a half marathon at least this year before summer for sure. And yeah, just be like all around optimal, bro. So that's the goal. That's what we're working on, and I hope you guys are working on the same thing as well, and I hope all is well with you guys. So thank you for watching. Have a great rest of y'all's day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuce.
Easy out of here, leave me out of there. Oh my God, she's at the bar, it's getting easy out of here. Gonna kick her out the spot, kick it, Kiki out of here. Got this other hoe tryna fuck, I'm sneaking out of here.